Welcome to Energized Futures, the podcast that sparks discussions about the dawn of a new era in energy. I'm your host, Stephen Ballard, here to illuminate the road ahead as we venture towards a greener, more sustainable future. Over the next few months, I'm going to be speaking to Alex Boyd, the CEO of PSC Consulting. PSC works with a great number of the world's electrical transmission, generation and utility companies, and therefore Alex is in a unique position to explain just how our energy landscapes are being designed for our sustainable future. We'll explore innovations, breakthroughs and disruptions that are driving the push towards renewable energy with sources like wind, solar, hydrogen and beyond. Here at Energized Futures, we're not just about celebrating innovative solutions, but also about understanding the challenges. We'll delve into the complexities of integrating renewable energy into our existing power grids, and the regulatory hurdles, the technology gaps, the financial implications, and more. So whether you're an energy professional keen on keeping a finger on the pulse of the industry, or simply a concerned citizen wanting to know more about the world's shift towards sustainable energy, we promise to enlighten, to provoke thought, and maybe even to surprise you. Welcome to Energized Futures, where the transformation of energy is not a distant dream, but a reality we are shaping right now, one episode at a time. So plug in, power up, and let's get energized for a better future. Hi, Alex. Here we are again doing another podcast. The integration of renewable power into the grid. Whenever I speak to people, they say this is a huge challenge, but I'm never really sure that I understand what that challenge actually is. Could you help me out here?
Yes, so the important thing with the electric grid is that we have to keep supply and demand perfectly in balance at all times, and that's really what creates the challenge for us. And we in our industry have been dealing with that challenge since the day that Thomas Edison put the first grid online in New York City all those years ago. And we still have to do exactly the same thing today. And renewables are making that problem just a little bit more challenging with their intermittent nature. So as a result of that, we've got to look at other ways of managing the balance of supply and demand, especially when supply is just a little bit less predictable. So that's really how renewables is contributing to the challenge.
But I come back to that question I think I put to you in the previous podcast about baseload, intermittency. If the sun isn't shining at night, there is no solar power. If the wind isn't blowing, there is no wind power. Therefore, there must be huge spikes in the supply of renewables. How do you resolve that problem? I still don't get it, I'm afraid.
Yes, so the answer to your question is really diversity. And I think those of us who are at least a little bit familiar with the investment world and investing in the share market understand diversity. So through diversity, we're able to remove volatility of returns as far as investments go. And in the power system, the same thing is true. By having diversity in our types of generation and diversity in the location of the generation, we can actually smooth out a lot of those spikes. So the reality of it is that although renewable generation is intermittent, it's not as intermittent as people might think because we have diversity across our network. And one of the things that we can do to reduce that is create even more diversity through the creation of transmission and being able to connect generation resources in lots of different locations. There's also many other ways in which we can balance supply and demand.
So, Alex, how do you balance this intermittency of supply?
So that's an interesting question. Once we have a lot of diversity of technology in the network, then it really becomes a big optimization exercise. And the complexity of the optimization exercise is such that it has to be done by computer. It can't be done by human. So we're developing a lot of technology that looks at all the various components within the network and makes decisions around what is dispatched and what isn't, based on other conditions in the grid. One other technology that's going to play a far more important role going forward is high voltage DC. High voltage DC is key technology because it allows us to transmit large amounts of power over long distances with minimal loss. So it means that we can take better advantage of geographic diversity of assets. The other thing that HVDC does is it provides a mechanism to create synthetic inertia on the grid. One of the issues with renewables is it's inverter-based generation, and it has low inertia, which can potentially create instabilities in the network.
So Alex, this issue of intermittency is something you're dealing with every day of the week?
It is. We work on many of these technologies that are going to be used to address the intermittency and address the challenges that are presented as a result of renewable generation.
Well, it's comforting to know that you've got a solution at hand. And that's a wrap on today's episode of Energized Futures. We hope you've enjoyed this illuminating exploration into the challenges and triumphs in our ongoing energy transition. Our conversation today looked at the issues of integrating renewable energy into the existing grid and how technology is really the solution. We hope it sparked curiosity, provoked thought, and provided some insights on the path towards a more sustainable world. A huge thank you to Alex Boyd for his invaluable perspectives, and of course to you, our listeners, for tuning in and joining us on this journey. It is your curiosity and eagerness to learn that powers this podcast and the broader conversation around renewable energy. Don't forget to subscribe whenever you listen to your podcasts so you won't miss out on future episodes. We have plenty more exciting discussions and expert insight lined up for you in the next few weeks. We would love to hear your thoughts on today's topic, so reach out to us on social media or through our website. Your questions, your ideas, your concerns, they're all part of this important dialogue. In the meantime, keep asking questions, keep seeking solutions, and most importantly, stay energized for the future. It's not just sustainable, it's not just equitable, it's prosperous for all. I'm Stephen Ballard signing off. Until next time, power on.